Hello, this is Billy Core from the Carolina Circle Mile Wiki. Yes, I know the wiki's broken, but I'll work on it someday. Today is Thursday, June the 11th of 2015, and what you're looking at is my latest vintage computer acquisition. I got this a week ago today. I got this for about $60, including shipping, on eBay. I was desperate to get this, so I wound up winning the high bid on it, thankfully. This says it's a Compaq Armada 1590 DMT, but in reality it's a Armada 1575 DMT. It just has a 1590 screen on it, but they're essentially the same computer. And since this is a video about a Compaq, I figured that it was very, very, very appropriate to have this man on Skype with me, Mr. Video Sun Frontier, Jay Wakefield.
Hey folks. How's you? How's you? What am I asking that for? But yeah, I'm really glad Billy finally got one of these. It's we've been long enough waiting for him to get a reasonably good Compaq Armada.
Yeah, and this one is very, very reasonably good. And I will go into detail on why that is as the video progresses. Camera will not focus, apparently. There we go. Let's take a tour of this computer. I apologize for the lighting in here. On the front, you get nothing really. On the right, you get the battery, which unfortunately no longer holds a charge, but I do intend on getting this rebuilt at my local Batteries Plus, because this laptop deserves to have a working battery. I want to take it places. We also have headphone jack, microphone jack, volume down, volume up buttons, a CD-ROM drive, Kensington lock, serial, okay, we're on the back now, serial, parallel VGA out, docking station plug, power plug, which the power supply is built into the system itself, so all you need is just a standard Mickey Mouse style power connection, and there you go. Very, very simple. We get a vent, infrared, PS2 mouse and keyboard, and on the left side you get a built-in dial-up modem, two Pcmcia slots. One of them is currently populated with my Pcmcia CF card adapter, which you saw in my Toshiba Libretto video. This is where I keep all my old games stored on. And you get a floppy disk drive. That's right, folks, this is a tri-spindle laptop, meaning that you don't have to have any drives dangling off of it, or having to go without a certain drive. You get everything built in, so that is very, 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 very convenient.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, we'll open up the screen here without the camera falling off my desk. Okay. Inside we have touchpad. We have your touchpad buttons, left, right click. You get two stereo speakers, which are actually really good speakers. You get a keyboard because, well, it's a laptop. Laptops typically have keyboards unless it's a tablet. You get some hotkey buttons up here, which I haven't used yet on here. You get two power buttons, although I believe one of them is for sleep. And thank goodness for this. This laptop is Y2K year 2000 compliant. So this did not blow up at midnight on January 1st, 2000. Thank goodness. And like I said, apparently this screen is not original to this system because this is a Armada 1575 DMT, whereas the screen is from a 1590 DMT. I thought I was getting a 1590 DMT, but it wound up being a 1575, which is okay with me. There's really no difference other than, I guess, the processor clock speed. This has a 150 megahertz Pentium MMX, a 2 gigabyte hard drive, which I do plan to replace with a CF card once I get one, and the compatible adapter for that. And it has 16 megabytes of memory, which is built into the system, so if that memory goes bad, well, sayonara Compaq. So, I guess the next thing we should do is put the camera up on its tripod and fire the system up. Okay, we are back now. Tripod set up, so we're now ready to fire this up. The switch I typically use to turn it on is actually not the purple one. I just use this little slidey one right over here. Okay, it's doing its memory count.
16,384 kilobytes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
16 megs of RAM. I've seen that boot up before.
162 system options not set. That is because the CMOS battery in this computer is pretty much non-existent. Well, it's there, but it's a shell of its former self, basically.
Yeah, basically, to put it in layman's terms, it's toast.
Yep. So we will F1 save changes. Non-system disk or disk error for some reason. Let's try that again. I think I hit the wrong key. Alright, let's try it again. Yeah, it has to boot like 2 or 3 times before you can actually go into Windows because of the dead CMOS battery, so just have to have patience with this. We will get into it someday.
Usually what happens is it'll boot. It'll go through the post process twice.
And it says missing operating system for some reason. It was working 2 days ago. What has happened? So apparently I'm going to have to stop the video for now and do some troubleshooting. Be right back. Okay, we're back now. And it's suddenly working. I don't know what I did. I did reboot it again, and it said that it picked up the hard drive or something, so I'm guessing the dead CMOS battery, even though it hadn't done this before, had a little trouble with the hard drive picking it up, so yeah. Now here's my Earthworm Jim wallpaper.
I mean, you don't have Paul Schindler.
Hell yeah. Okay, let's see if I can make this look better for the camera. That better? Yeah.
I don't think on my Armada 1590 I've ever had anything other than the I don't think I've had anything other than the actual
Compaq.
paper.
Yeah, I need to get a copy of that.
Not a problem. And that is actually on the Oh, James. And that, you know, is in the near year and a half that I've actually owned it.
Okay, we're now in Windows 95. I got my Microsoft mouse hooked up to it through PS2. Make things a little bit easier since I'm on a desk. First thing I want to do is set the date and time because it is not Friday, January 4th of 1980. Because January 1980, well, I was rather non-existent at the time.
I have a friend who was born on the 1st of Jan 1980.
Wow.
It's quite funny because on New Year's, on New Year's at the bells, which is what we call, like, you know, midnight.
Right.
You'll find that all the ships in Aberdeen Harbour will actually blast their horns. And this friend of mine, as a child, used to be able to hear them from her bedroom window. And she used to think they were actually ringing out she used to think that they were actually blasting their horns for her birthday. I kind of like that, actually. It's
Me too.
It's a nice wee thing to believe in, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, you know, Aberdeen is kind of celebrating my birthday. It must have been awful upsetting for her to
Find the truth out.
Yeah, realise that what they were actually ringing in was the new year.
Well, it technically was the new year for her.
Well, yeah. But I mean, it's like I've actually been down at the harbour while I've been doing that because New Year 2011. I was actually at a place. It was my favourite place to go in at the time. It was a metal bar called the Moorings, and that is literally down by the harbour. Now, anyone from Aberdeen, anyone who is from Aberdeen, they'll be like, "Oh, James J, no, not there." It's got a name. It had a name that actually kind of rhymed. It was a word that rhymed with the Moorings. I think some of you will be able to understand it, but because this is a family-friendly channel, I'm not actually allowed to utter it.
Right.
But I mean, it kind of just became a regular metal bar. But long story short, you know, I was down there when they actually were blasting the horns for New Year's, and it really is something, actually. But yeah, so yeah, that just kind of brought that to me. Anyway, back to your video.
Okay, guess first thing we'll do is go into System Properties. Running Windows 95 version B.
Best version to run, unless you're on a Packard Bell. Packard Bells alone seem to be able to run 95 RTM.
Right, they actually do. Got a Pentium, 16 megs of RAM.
Now, the Pentium in that is something rather special. Something so special that someone I know didn't even think that they existed. It's actually a Pentium MMX 150. And it seems to me that the Pentiums that had clock speeds that were multiples of 30 seem to be awful rare. You didn't see them as much. So the Pentium 90, gold dust. Pentium 120, pretty rare. Pentium 150, like I said, someone thought it didn't exist.
I know my Packard Bell Legend 1510 Supreme was a Pentium 120.
However, the Pentium 2300, which is also actually a multiple of 30, as is the 600, they're not that rare.
Right.
I just thought I'd let it be known.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of Gateway 2000s with Pentium 90s in them before. I think Gateway 2000 must have had the monopoly on 90 megahertz Pentiums.
Yeah, that's where they all went.
Yeah.
It's quite funny because it's like I've seen Toshiba, the 410 CD, the Toshiba Satellite Pro 410 CD, whatever it is, CDT, CDS. That was a 90, and the my favorite, one of my favorite Toshibas, the 430 CDT, was a 120. It was basically a mobile Packard Bell Legend 1510 Supreme.
Yeah.
Which is also a 120. Anyway, back to your video. Sorry, Kurt.
That's perfectly okay. I kind of enjoy it.
Some interesting things, but so far non-pertaining to Compaq. We've talked about New Year's traditions and oddly clocked Pentiums.
Okay, for display we have a Cirrus Logic 7458. Not a bad card. I'm a big fan of old Cirrus Logic video cards, as you can probably imagine.
Yep, they are pretty darn good.
We have a Compaq Armada 1500 series 336 telephony modem. I think the 336 might actually be my area code. If not, then it's a big coincidence because 336 is my area code.
I wonder if it might have more to do with the speed of the modem.
Could be. Okay, and I remember back in the day, I thought, in fact, this was up until a few years ago, so that pretty much tells you how pathetic I am. I thought telephony was pronounced telephony.
Oh, it's an easy mistake to make, because if you see it written down in print, it does look like telephony. It's like the word invalid. If you look at that in print, it means invalid. It's spelled the same way as invalid.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't like that word. Invalid was an oldie term used to describe people with disabilities. But yeah, that machine has a modem. Mine doesn't. Mine's is a Compaq Armada 1590 DT. But in this day and age, I don't know anyone who's actually going to use a 33.6K dial-up modem.
I know I'm not.
In fact, I actually connect mine up to my shiny new network.
Look forward to seeing a video about that, by the way.
Pardon?
Look forward to seeing a video about that.
Oh yeah, my new network. Spoiler alert, yeah. Something to do with a Windows 2000 VirtualBox VMware server and being able to. Yeah, I've been posting pictures like I feel on Facebook of my new NT domain and see it, pictures of it actually working because I'm so proud of myself.
Okay, we got a laptop display panel which is 800 by 600, which I kind of prefer over the 1024 by 768 because if you're like me, you're going to be playing a lot of older computer games on here that work best at smaller resolutions. So when you panel stretch, when you go from 800 by 600 to 640 by 480, it's not as big as a stretch as it is from higher resolutions.
And because these displays are of an older technology, it does kind of slightly distort the picture.
Right.
Which is fine on, kind of action-y games. But if you're playing games like the version of Oregon Trail for MS-DOS, it can be a wee bit uncomfortable to play. I have noticed that with that display.
Right.
Best thing to do is play it in Windows.
Okay, we got some other unknown devices here. One is Pcmcia Card services, which Pcmcia socket is working just fine, so I don't know what that is.
I actually managed to find a way of getting that sorted, actually.
We'll have to discuss that with you sometime.
Yeah, it's on, and the touchpad. I found touchpad drivers on
Oh,
that,
thank you.
And on that 1500 CD.
Thank you, I'm going to need that.
Not a problem. I couldn't find them before, but I actually went looking on the CD that we only acquired very, very recently. And as a result, yeah, we actually found all this stuff.
And we got an unknown device, which I have no clue what that is. All I know is that the input-output range is 0250-0257. Means absolutely nothing to me, but there you go.
Is all the sound card stuff installed?
Yep.
'Cause, I mean, you might actually find... I've actually found that unknown device to actually pertain to the ESS audio controller. even though the sound is working, the audio controller might still need to be found in.
Yeah, sound is working just fine on here, so... But, we have two Texas Instruments PCI-1131 card bus controllers.
Right?
Communication port mumbo jumbo, an ES1878 plug-and-play audio drive with WaveStream sound card.
Spoiler alert, MIDI is amazing.
Which we'll do a test in that momentarily, and a bunch of system devices. So, speaking of MIDI, let's do a Canyon test.
Have you made sure to set it back?
Yes, I did.
ESFM sounds good as well, actually. I'll give it that. Sounds like my Pcmcia 2240. That is ESFM. I can tell that a mile off.
Very unique FM synthesis here.
Sound often associated with Compaq. By me.
Yep. Okay, now let's go through our roster of programs in the Start menu. Starting off, we... Go ahead.
So the amazing MIDI, we've not heard.
Yeah, I don't have that installed right now. The Brooks Stream, I didn't get around to installing that, so...
Aye. ESFM is still fantastic, and to be honest, if you're using it for DOS gaming, that's pretty much what you will hear.
Right.
I've never known the Brooks Stream implementation to work in any kind of MS-DOS game.
Right. Okay, we got Toonland, a game commonly found on Packard Bells in the 90s. Standard Windows accessories. Adobe Acrobat version 3.0 with all the fixings. We'll take a look closer at that momentarily. Microsoft Best of Entertainment Pack. The Playroom from Broderbund Software. Some Compaq utilities, which consists of Compaq Diagnostics. One of my favorite childhood games, Hard Hat. Kid Picks. Jumpstart First Grade and My First Encyclopedia. Some Maxis games, including SimCity 2000, SimCity Classic, and Widget Workshop. Microsoft Bob. Microsoft Return of Arcade. Microsoft Bookshelf 95. Works 4.0. The Gus games. Norton Utilities. There's an inside joke there, folks. Some online services that are not going to do us any good.
AOL rules!
The Incredible Machine and 3D Ultra Pinball. Internet Explorer and Office 95. As well as Publisher 95. So let's fire up Word for Windows 95. Very good version. First fully 32-bit version of Microsoft Word. Okay. So this Compaq is hot and thirsty. Can it have a Mountain Dew? Well, yes it can.
exactly how can that system have?
Oh, wait a minute. It's empty. Never mind.
Right. Okay then, I don't know what just happened there, but...
I took an empty can of Mountain Dew and made it look like I was pouring it on the Compaq.
However empty you think a pop soda can is, it isn't.
Thankfully, we're okay. Now, let me go into further detail of why I have the full version of Adobe Acrobat version 3 installed on here. Well, this version of, well, on older versions of Adobe Acrobat, the full version that is, not just the reader, it would install a special driver that would allow you to print stuff to a PDF. Now, in theory...
Actually, that applies to new versions as well.
Right. Yeah, I don't use the new version, so... But anyway, what's nice about this is that you can take these old computers like this and make them print. Well, in theory, that is.
Yep. It is actually a very good thing, because what you do is, you know, if you're playing a game that prints stuff, for example, you know, the Bugs Bunny cartoony thingy, or you're using any one of the versions of the different themed print shoppy programs, or let's be honest, our favourite game, Fatty Bear's Birthday Surprise, where you can actually print out the recipe for the cake.
Yep.
Something which I need to do. Then you can actually print it out, and it will print it to a PDF, which is really quite useful, because then you can take that PDF and load it up on a modern computer, one that may be attached to a printer.
Yeah, a real printer.
Mm-hmm. And with that, you can then actually do the printing.
We may have to test that in a little bit, but first I'm going to test something else that you can do with this Adobe printer driver. Let's go to Microsoft Publisher 95.
Oh, we're going to make a cassette case cover.
I don't know what we're going to make just yet.
I used to do that when I used to record music back in the day. I used to make cassette case covers for that. or if I made mixtapes as well.
Okay. Let's figure out what we want to make.
Cassette inserts are amazing for mixtapes because the 90s were a thing.
Oh yes, yes. I remember making mixtapes back in the day, but I never did make them on the cases for them on the computer. I wish I had now. But
I was quite lucky that my humanities teacher, Mr. Green, would let me have a shot at the computers at break time. I do appreciate that. So if you're watching, Mr. Green, thanks. Very much appreciated it.
Okay, Jay taught me into it. Let's make a cassette label. Okay, well, we can make a label for a jar, bottle, or box. Oh!
Oh!
Apparently you can also make labels for videotapes. Interesting.
That is interesting. I mean, that is something that I can honestly say that I've never done. But if I ever have any empty video cases, you know, any empty video cases to put blank tapes in.
Now this is actually labels for the actual tape.
Ah, right. Then you'd, print it onto some sticky back paper.
Right.
Yeah, cool. And then I could have some professionally printed labels for my recordings of The Simpsons from BBC Two back in 2003. Yes, and I still have videotapes and I still use them. Much to the chagrin of my ex-girlfriend.
Okay, let's just make a regular audio cassette label for the actual audio cassette. Alright. Actually, I want a... Yeah, we'll just go ahead and do the audio cassette. create it.
Oh, did you remember to do a list of tracks on it?
Yeah, I haven't gotten to that yet, I don't think. Okay.
Let's pick an album.
Type the main title of your label. Actually, this isn't actually for the actual case of the tape. This is the sticker for the tape.
I know it usually does for the case.
Okay, let's go back and do the case then.
Oh right, are you doing a sticker?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, you confused me. All right. Okay then. The title for the tape is Queen's Greatest Hits 2. A band that Billy absolutely loves very much.
I just think
He
they're kind of
loves them so
overrated.
much that he actually tells us that he doesn't really care for them.
Okay, let's start this over because I screwed that up big time.
Sorry, I didn't realise what you were doing.
Oh, that's okay, that's okay.
We've got to coordinate on this thing.
Okay, now let's make the actual audio cassette case instead. Let's see, should we do bold, basic, or jazzy?
Jazzy's pretty good, actually.
Alright, we'll do jazzy. One title for the whole tape or a different title for each side? We'll do one title. Okay, type the title for the tape. Okay,
Derpy hits of the 80s.
Okay,
And we can have fun coming up with 80s songs.
actually I got a funnier idea.
Oh no.
There we go. Windows 95's greatest hits.
Windows 95's greatest hits. That's amazing.
Would you like to specify a main performer for each side of the tape? Well, we're getting complicated here.
Or you can do for the whole tape.
I'll do one for the whole tape. Type the name of the performer. I guess the most logical one would be Brian Eno.
Yeah.
Would you like the song titles on the inside or the outside of the cover? Quit asking me questions.
Okay, now if you had them on the inside, basically it would fold under and you'd actually have a cover. Whereas if you had them on the outside of the cover, you wouldn't have a front cover for the cassette, it would just be the track listings.
Yeah.
You can tell how often how often I used to do this back in the 90s.
Alright, let's create it! Creating your publication.
And you can slow it right down. So, you know, it's actually showing you how to create it if you wanted to actually do it yourself.
Right. Do you want step-by-step help as you finish your publication? No, I got Jay.
Oh yes.
Okay, let's zoom in. Let's replace the picture here with something more appropriate. Replace.
I must admit I did used to enjoy Publisher. It was one of my favourite things it was one of my favourite programs on the school computers.
Actually, I got a more clever idea for this. Let's go into character map, and we're going to move to Wingdings, and we're going to select the Windows logo. Copy, and we're going to insert a and we're going to make some text. Paste that in right there, make it a little bit bigger. There we go. If you don't know what I did, Jay, I replaced the logo with the Windows logo with the Wingdings font.
Oh, okay, right enough.
For you folks watching, you may not realize this, but if you recall, in the flying Windows screensaver that came in with older versions of Windows, the Windows logos you would see in this screensaver was actually this particular little symbol here from Wingdings. So,
How did you find that out?
read that somewhere a while back. I forget where.
I wonder. Now, I really do wonder. In fact, I wonder so much, I'm actually going to maybe give this a shot.
I hope it's something legal.
I wonder if you deleted Wingdings from the raster of fonts on your Windows install, if you'd get a derpy letter instead.
That's an interesting question.
That is something that I probably should try. In fact, let's try it right now.
Okay,
I've just went to the 1590 DT, started up.
yeah, we're having an Armada 1500 series party right now.
Here.
I'm not going to bother with the song titles right now because that would take way too long, so I'm just going to save the file, name it Windows 95's Greatest Hits, and now for the moment we've all been waiting for, we're going to print this with the Adobe printer driver. So we're going to go up here to print, cannot load the printer driver.
Oopsie. Is Adobe set as the default one?
Yeah.
Well, that's neat.
Okay, there we go, now it's working. Alright folks, let's watch some magic happen. Okay, now it's printing, quote unquote, the the file here, so we're just going to save it to the root of the hard drive for now as a PDF file, which is what it's going to print to as. We're going to name it Windows 95. Windows 95's Greatest Hits, and click OK. Alright, now let's see what we got. Oh, here's the file. Acrobat Exchange 3.0 is now opening. And there we are. This is a printing. Now, with the help of my 4GB CF card I have built into this, we're going to test out Jay's theory of printing out the Fatty Bear birthday cake recipe.
You'll be lucky. You don't have a printer with ink in it connected to that thing.
Party pooper. Anyway, we're still going to do it. We'll go to 640 by 480. And we're going to do FNT to stretch the display. And let's fire up Fatty Bear's birthday surprise. There is one little dead pixel right here, right above my index finger, but it's not hurting anything.
Oh, by the way, results of the experiment. The Wingdings experiment.
What?
the font Wingdings has now been deleted from my font raster.
Uh-huh.
Flying Windows is running, but...
Are they multicolored dots?
Yeah.
I've seen that before, I think.
Yeah, it basically looks like a colourful version of the Starfield simulation screensaver.
Yeah, that's probably all it is.
Yeah. And I thought, do you know what, actually, I was starting to think that Flying Through Space screensaver is basically just a bunch of dots. Full stops.
Yeah. I always thought they were real stars filmed in space.
Good night, Fatty Bear.
Yeah. Well, it's telling us about MPEG decoding and what have you.
I love you, Fatty
I'm
Bear.
going to get Wingdings back!
There's a lot of Fatty Bear.
Okay, let's skip through all that. I want to head straight to the kitchen. Get some good music going. There we go. Love this song here. This game just has the best music ever. I can't describe it.
This looks like the place to bake Kayla's birthday cake.
Turn the volume up just a little bit on here.
Hi, Fatty Bear. I'm here to help with the cake. Thank you, Matilda Rabbit.
Okay, we're gonna test Jay's theory now. I haven't tried this before, so if this does not work, then Jay owes me Iron Brew. So we're gonna click this book at the top left of the screen.
I think I'll make a chocolatey chip birthday cake. Here's the recipe for it.
Wait a minute, Jay. There's something missing here. There's no button to print it with.
I thought you could print the recipe out.
I did too! Been playing this game 19 years, how could I not realize that?
Was it not out from a printer? I'm sure there was.
I'm sure there was too, but it doesn't exist.
It's where Rocky.
Well, folks, that was anticlimactic. If you want a copy of this to print out, all you can pretty much do is print screen that. But there's no point in doing that.
Right.
So we're gonna play one more game on here in Windows before we head to DOS. We're gonna play some Toonland.
Hey there. Welcome to Toonland. I'm Little
Sometimes I get a blue screen at this part, sometimes not, but usually not.
When you look around,
And we did not.
there's McDonald's farm.
Hasn't happened on this particular computer yet with this game, but
You can go anywhere in Toonland from here. All you have to do
So,
is find the place you want to go. I'm gonna play hide and seek in every place
I
you
think
go.
his birthday surprise disc in hand was we was warm water.
Listen to this. What if you get lost? Or what if you
you know what, little Howie,
different place?
you can maybe
All you gotta do
shut up now. Okay, let's go into the farmhouse.
Oh dear.
I find that offensive.
Am I watching a Three Stooges movie?
Whew! Time to make my getaway. When you're ready, click on me, and I'll take you to the hoedown in the barn.
Maybe later. This game really has no plot to it. Just, click on stuff and see what it does. This game, as you know, came bundled on a lot of Packard Bell systems back in the day, including my 822, so yes, this is one of my childhood favorites. Let's click on, I don't know, the Gingerbread Man.
Hi there, kids. Clap your hands to the music right now.
Oh no, not this song. Oh, I hate this song. Don't drag it on. My head hurts in ways I'll never understand now. You see, even as a child, I despised that stupid patty cake song.
That's a shame.
Okay, let's click on this dynamite.
Jack, don't forget to fetch a pail of water for me.
Oh, it's a bucket.
Okay, Mom. Have you seen Howie?
Why don't you try looking in the barn?
Come on, let's go.
That boy.
He must have broke his crown, apparently. Whoa.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
Jay, you're not gonna believe this. There's a part of this game where one of the characters gets a kettle, puts it on, and makes tea.
Let me guess. Is it Polly Put the Kettle On?
Yes.
I know that song very, very well from my childhood.
Yay, the kettle's boiling.
If you'd like to go back to old McDonald's.
I'm currently halfway through a game of Fatty Bear's Birthday Surprise.
You know, you could go straight to the counter and see if there's a printer icon or not. Just click the book.
I know where there's something really good cooking. When you're ready, click on me, and we'll go to the farmhouse.
I've just got to complete the game to get Clinton nights.
It's possible. I don't know.
Do you really want to leave Tulip? If you do, click on the exit sign again. Okay, you're leaving Tulip. Come back again and play with us real soon.
Have to do that sometimes on Skype.
Right, I'm going to play through this.
Okay, you're leaving Tulip. Come back again. Play with us real soon. What are you guys gonna do now? Sing? You know why they're humming? They don't know the words. This is Little House, signing off.
Okay, now to show off one of the most amazing features that you could have on a compact laptop in the 90s. This particular Compaq is pretty much the best laptop for running DOS games on. And here's why. You get your own special real DOS mode built in here, with all the drivers and fixings, with all the memory you would ever need.
And you might be wondering, why would they feature such a thing on a business machine from the 90s? I mean, these things were expensive, very expensive, about the price of a used car expensive. So why would you buy? Why would you need something that can play games? Well, it's not just games that people use Real DOS mode for. In fact, a lot of businesses actually still use a lot of MS-DOS based applications. So the Real DOS mode was the best chance at getting them to run.
Exactly. And so we will fire that up right now. Tell it yes. And it's going to restart. And now I've got to figure out what DOS game to show off. Okay, Windows 95 is now starting your MS-DOS based program. A Tappy IDE CD-ROM. Okay, it's loaded a driver for the CD-ROM, the mouse, and you can't really see it, but it also loaded up a driver for the sound. So we'll go into my games folder, C:/games. Okay, let me figure out what we should play. How about some good old-fashioned Jill of the Jungle?
Jill of the Jungle sounds like a good plan.
Okay, we'll do a panel stretch. There we go, absolutely perfect. See, we got music and sound effects. What more could you want? I mean, this is why I love these computers so much, because it's 90s gaming on the go.
It's a 1590
Right.
Oh, horrible.
Yeah. I vaguely remember playing this game on the original Legend 822 CDT sometime in 1996. I think I must have gotten it off of the AOL shareware thing.
I did wonder. I mean, shareware is brilliant. I think. I mean, it's the AOL shareware. The AOL games channel is one of the best things, the best way to get in shareware games.
We got a ton of demos for games off of off of the AOL Games channel, including a few games that wound up being some of my all-time favorites even to this day that we bought full versions of. Two of them being The Incredible Machine 3 and Firefight.
I mean, this is that. You'll find a lot of people, like the Lazy Game Reviewer, for example, talking fondly about games from their childhood, reviewing them.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll generally find that it's shareware stuff that they bought.
And because I'm sadistic, Skyroad's Christmas special. Complete with music and sound. Yes, my favorite song. This is another game we got off of the AOL Games channel, I believe, back in the day. Road to? Road to where? And because we better get this over with, Road 3. I will beat this road someday. And today will not be the day. One more try. Mainly because I like the music. One more. Okay, now to get out of real mode DOS, you just type exit, and the computer will reboot. And let me pause the video while it reboots. Okay, I guess it's finally time to end this video. What I have to say about this is, well, it's the best 90s laptop in the world, I think. Because, well, it plays computer games from that era so perfectly. I mean, you can play your Windows 95 stuff, your Windows 3.1 stuff, and your DOS stuff flawlessly on here. And plus you get a tri-spindle design. Folks, if you're looking for a vintage laptop so you can play your old computer games on the go or in bed or whatever, anything like that, get an Armada 1500 series. Make sure it's a DMT so you'll have the active matrix display like this one has. You will not be disappointed. And this also goes for if you don't have room for a full-size vintage computer like that over there, but you still want in on some of the vintage action. Again, here you go. So before we go, I think the master of the Compaqs should share his thoughts on this system.
Well, it's one of those really quite interesting machines. I mean, I was introduced to the 1500 series back in 2013 and was really quite interested in how they went together. I mean, you could get CD-ROM and non-CD-ROM versions of those. And if you had a non-CD-ROM version, you could actually acquire a CD-ROM drive, and it was very, very easy to actually install. You just unscrewed a blanking plate and screwed in the optical drive instead. There you go.
Right.
But the ones that I originally had, the 1560 and the 1510, were both passive matrix ones. Now, I knew that if an active matrix machine like that would be absolutely amazing. So when I got my chance to buy the Compaq Armada 1590 DT, well, I jumped at it. When I finally got to use the machine, I was just blown over. I mean, most of the things that I've run on this machine have just run absolutely flawlessly. I say most because I can't remember what I've run that didn't. But I want to cover myself, obviously.
Right. I don't blame you.
But I mean, they are absolutely fantastic. When both for Windows 95 and if you've got one of the non-MMX versions, Windows 3.1 as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the MMX versions will run 3.1, but why would you? But you know, it's a machine that is definitely worth having. And you know, I just think it. I'm just really thankful that you know, I managed to be able to own one, and you know, it just kind of proves what I've been. It just kind of proves my theory about 90s compacts being excellent.
Yeah, this is a true example here. I've been after one of these for a long time because from what I've seen of yours, these are the perfect vintage gaming laptops. Because they're so versatile, you can do so much with them.
Aye. Oh yeah. No, I think definitely Compaq Armadas, the 1590 series, absolutely brilliant. Tri-spindle design, very easy to service. Although don't try attaching an active matrix display to a passive matrix model, it won't go well. Also, I will say, 1590, good idea. However, a wee word in your shell like about anything above the 1590. 1592, 1598. They are newer machines, tend to come with a USB port on them. You'd think that'd be nice, but to be honest, I've seen a lot more problems with those machines than I have with some of the other ones. I mean, seriously, I've seen a hell of a lot of problems with the 1592, 1598 series of Compaq Armadas. You know,
Understandable.
I've owned both a 1592 and a 1598, and they're not the best. It's a real shame as well, because I do like this series of machines. But I've owned a 1550, that was fantastic. 1560D, again, fantastic. 1510, brilliant. You get the idea.
Right.
But I think, you know, I'm also really glad that Billy has finally got one of these machines of his very own. Because I've basically been telling him till I'm blue in the hair, literally, to get one of these machines.
You know, and I knew that this would be an amazing experience for me, and I finally got one, and I have to say, I was right. This is an amazing experience.
Oh, and Fatty Bear update. It seems that we were wrong. You really can't actually print from these.
I know. I don't know what I was thinking about that.
Unless it's only the Windows 3.1. You can print from. I don't honestly know. I need to go back and. I need to go back and watch my J plays of Fatty Bear Ken.
Right. I don't blame you.
Or start up the Packard Belt. Because I have a game of Fatty Bear saved at the point where it's time to make the cake.
Yeah, so if you're in the mood to make a cake, you can just go straight into it.
Oh yeah, and we do actually, don't we? Sometimes, you know, we'll make cakes. You know, it's like you'll make cakes to congratulate people's birthdays. And I'm kicking myself for not making a Fatty Bear cake to commemorate the fact that Aberdeen is completely, you know, all the SNP MP candidates for Aberdeen got him.
Exactly.
That was a month ago. Come on, Jay, wake up. But anyway, I will leave it to Billy now to wrap up.
All right. Again, Compaq Armada, 1575 DMT. Great laptop. If you have the opportunity to get one of these, do it. This is Billy Core signing off, and we have one more video of this Compaq coming tomorrow.